comes Santa Claus, here comes Santa Claus, right down Santa Claus Lane.
Alexa, stop.
It's expected to strengthen into a Category 1 hurricane with winds up to 75 miles per hour throughout the day, moving over the Bahamas and then moving towards our viewing.
Pack up the camper, we're going to the Keys!
Yeah!
Welcome back. to yet another episode of us running from a hurricane. Woohoo! We're thinking about changing up the whole theme of this YouTube channel, where instead of traveling around the country, we're gonna try to find storms and get as close as we can to them and then run away. It's gonna be kind of like the opposite of a storm chaser channel. We're gonna be like a storm running away channel. I think it'll be pretty cool. So we actually had a trip planned for the weekend. We were pretty excited about it. We were gonna go up to Melbourne, Florida, and we were gonna stay at Long Point Campground, which is a really cool spot. We've been there before. And we were gonna hopefully catch the launch of Artemis, the rocket that's going to the moon. And then this tropical system showed up, and they weren't sure what it was going to do, and then sure enough develops into a category 1 hurricane, and so our plans went out the window. So we started planning just like we did with our trip to Missouri on how we could get away from this thing, and we started thinking about going up north, and then realized this was a 400-mile wide storm that was going to hook up and cover the entire state of Florida and the Panhandle. So we noticed down in the Keys, it looked pretty clear. It wasn't really gonna go in that direction, and wasn't gonna be quite wide enough to touch it. And we've never been to the Keys before, so we figured let's get a trip to the Keys in before we head out of Florida. The RV resort was really cool. It was a nice spot, a little pricey, but we just kind of made a trip out of it. And it was a bit windy when we got down there, and it got windier when we went to bed. The winds really started picking up. It was shaking the camper a little bit, so we didn't know how things were going to turn out overnight, but sometime in the middle of the night, just a few hours into our sleep, we woke up and dead quiet, wind was gone, no rain, so we were really pleased about that. Alright, so on to our trip in the Keys. Our first stop in the video there was at a place called Crane Point Nature Museum, and it was pretty cool. They had a little indoor museum with all kinds of artifacts from the early settlers in Florida, Native Americans that lived down here, and that was pretty neat. And then outside they have all kinds of hiking trails and some wildlife. There was a couple of turtles in there. And then the highlight of the trip, they had a dock going out onto the water at the RV resort. A lot of people fishing in the evening. And so we took the poles out, and Jack caught his very first fish. It was a puffer fish, which is toxic. You're not supposed to touch it with your hands, and definitely not supposed to eat it. He was super excited, had a huge grin on his face for a while after that. So it was a really cool experience, and I was happy to catch it on camera, so we'll have that with us forever, you know. So we are still learning lessons. We can't stop learning lessons with this RV. We're realizing that everything breaks basically, all the time. It's like if you had a house that was really poorly built, and then you occasionally picked it up and shook it violently. That's pretty much what having an RV is like. But we're learning a lot about it, and I think the more stuff that breaks, the more stuff we're going to know how to fix in it. At a certain point, we're going to have fixed every single item in here, and so we'll know how everything works from top to bottom, and there won't be any surprises. Alright, so this is going to be it for us for trips with the camper before we leave on January 4th. So we're in the final countdown. And we're mostly just going to be doing prep. We're going to be taking a few trips to see family that we might not be able to see for a little while. I'll probably post a video on some of the camper prep that we're going to do. We're going to do some big jobs on it, like we're putting in a washer and dryer, and then a bunch of other little things. So that's it for this one. Look out for a video sometime in the next month of us doing those repairs. And then about a week or two after January 4th, we'll get our first video up of us actually on the road. And of course, if you're liking these videos, subscribe to the channel. You'll get notifications letting you know every time we get a new video up. Thanks for watching.